The truth about evidence that science can't explain will shock you, because after working with forensic laboratories on 16 impossible cases, I've discovered that scientists routinely encounter evidence that defies explanation, but they're trained to ignore it, dismiss it, or hide it, rather than admit the limitations of current scientific understanding. What I'm about to reveal about how forensic laboratories handle impossible evidence will change how you view expert testimony, scientific certainty, and the reliability of evidence-based convictions in criminal cases. I'm Daniel Mackenzie, and the laboratory conclusions I've read will make you question whether science is as objective and comprehensive as you've been told. Dr. Sarah Chen runs one of the country's most advanced forensic laboratories. Over 15 years, she has encountered evidence that contradicts known laws of physics, chemistry, and biology. But her laboratory reports never mention these contradictions because there's no official protocol for documenting impossible findings. We're trained to focus on what can be explained and ignore what can't be explained, Dr. Chen told me. If evidence shows impossible characteristics, we either exclude it from analysis or find conventional explanations that ignore the impossible elements. The system creates a fundamental bias toward conventional explanations, even when those explanations don't account for all the evidence observed during forensic analysis. By the way, everything I'm sharing comes from actual laboratory reports and scientist interviews included in my book, The Impossible Files. Multiple forensic experts have confirmed that impossible evidence is more common than public reports suggest, but institutional pressure prevents honest reporting of unexplainable findings. Here's how forensic laboratories handle evidence that science can't explain. They develop conventional explanations that ignore the impossible elements, classify unexplainable findings as anomalous without further investigation, or exclude impossible evidence from final reports to maintain scientific credibility. In the aging evidence case, 3 separate laboratories confirmed that evidence had aged 30 years overnight, but their official reports focused on conventional aging factors: temperature, humidity, chemical exposure, while noting the unusual degree of aging without acknowledging that the aging was physically impossible. The laboratory reports were scientifically accurate about what they observed, but misleading about what their observations meant. They documented impossible aging while providing conventional explanations that didn't account for the impossibility. Dr. Michael Torres, a forensic chemist with 20 years of experience, explained the institutional pressure that prevents honest reporting of impossible evidence. Our credibility depends on providing scientific explanations. If we admit that some evidence can't be explained, it undermines confidence in forensic science as a whole. This creates a system where impossible evidence is routinely observed but never officially documented as impossible, leading to incomplete understanding of what forensic analysis actually reveals about criminal cases. This is just one of 16 cases exposing limitations in forensic reporting in my book, The Impossible Files. Link below. But the truth about laboratory conclusions goes deeper than individual cases. It reveals systematic bias against acknowledging the limits of scientific understanding. The DNA evidence in the twin crime synchronicity case showed one person's genetic material at 2 crime scenes 200 miles apart at the same time. Laboratory analysis confirmed this impossibility, but reported it as consistent with identical twin DNA profiles, without acknowledging that identical DNA at simultaneous distant locations violates physical principles. The laboratories accurately documented what they found, but provided explanations that ignored the temporal and spatial impossibilities their own evidence revealed. Dr. Patricia Santos, who analyzed the twin DNA evidence, admitted that her laboratory report was technically accurate but conceptually misleading because it didn't address the physical impossibilities that the DNA evidence demonstrated. The ballistics analysis in the multiplying murder weapons case revealed 3 physically identical custom firearms with matching microscopic characteristics down to the atomic level. But laboratory reports described them as similar weapons, rather than acknowledging that identical unique items represent a physical impossibility. Multiple ballistics experts confirmed that the weapons were identical in ways that should be impossible for handcrafted items, but official reports avoided stating this conclusion directly because it would require acknowledging phenomena beyond current scientific understanding. The pattern is consistent across all impossible evidence cases. Proper scientific methodology produces accurate results about phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality, identity, consciousness, time, space, and physical object behavior. The ultimate reality check is recognizing that science is a tool for measuring and analyzing evidence. But science cannot guarantee that the evidence being measured represents normal physical phenomena or typical criminal behavior. When you're facing criminal charges, serving on a jury, or seeking justice for a crime, you need to understand that scientific evidence can be completely reliable while being completely inadequate for understanding what actually happened in cases that exceed current scientific knowledge.